There is a kind of suffering that does not have a name. It is not grief. It is not failure. It is not even loneliness in the traditional sense. It is the experience of a man who is everything he needs and nothing he is fighting for. And if you have felt it, you know exactly what it is. A flatness. A sense that the days are passing but nothing is being built. That you are present but not really alive in any way that matters. The Stoics did not see this as a mood. They saw it as a structural problem. A man without purpose is not a man at rest. He is a man in slow collapse. Marcus Aurelius governed an empire and led armies into war. But in his private journals, he was not writing about victory or power. He was writing about the danger of losing his reason to act. He understood that without something genuinely worth doing, the mind turns on itself. It does not go quiet. It finds things to destroy. Epictetus taught that human beings are not built for stillness in the way we imagine. We are built for engagement. For resistance. For the specific kind of aliveness that only comes from pursuing something that could actually fail. When that is absent, something goes wrong at a level most men cannot articulate. You see it everywhere once you know what to look for. The man who achieved what he wanted and then fell apart. The man who retired and aged a decade in a year. The man who won and found the winning hollow. It is not that success is meaningless. It is that success without a next fight leaves a man with no direction for his energy. And energy with no direction does not disappear. It corrodes. Seneca wrote that the greatest waste is not time spent in difficulty, but time spent in aimlessness. He said a man who is busy with nothing is more exhausted than a man who is busy with something hard. Because difficulty organizes you. It tells you where to place your attention, your strength, your will. Aimlessness scatters all of that. And scattered men do not feel free. They feel hollow. Here is what makes this particularly dangerous in the world we live in now. Comfort has been sold to men as the destination. Work toward comfort. Build toward ease. Remove friction from your life until everything is smooth. And some men get there. They build the comfort they were told to want. Then they sit inside it and feel nothing. Because the Stoics understood that a man's sense of himself is not built in rest. It is built in resistance. In the daily practice of doing something hard for a reason that matters. Not suffering for its own sake. The Stoics were not interested in pain as a virtue. But chosen difficulty, in service of something real, is what keeps a man coherent. It is what gives the days a shape. The question is not whether you need something to fight for. You do. That is not optional. The question is whether what you are currently fighting for is real enough to organize you, or whether you have settled for the appearance of purpose because the real thing felt like too much to ask for. Most men shrink here. They choose goals small enough that failure would not hurt too much. And then they wonder why achieving those goals does not feel like anything. The Stoics pointed toward something specific when they talked about purpose. They were not talking about ambition in the modern sense. They were not talking about status or acquisition. They were talking about contribution. About what you are building that will outlast you. About who depends on your best effort. A man fighting for his family fights differently than a man fighting for himself. A man building something for others carries a weight that focuses him. That weight is not a burden in the way we usually use that word. It is ballast. It keeps him upright when everything else pushes against him. If you feel that flatness right now, do not wait for purpose to arrive as an inspiration. It does not come that way. It comes through commitment. You choose something worth building, and you build it, and somewhere inside the building, the sense of aliveness returns. Not because you found the perfect cause, but because you stopped waiting to feel ready and started doing the thing that a purposeful man does. The Stoics were not men who found their purpose and then lived it effortlessly. They were men who chose it, daily, and fought for it even when it cost them. That is the only kind of purpose that holds.